About one of the most important creatures that man has tamed for his own use, the domestic hen. Let's just see how this bird is different.
There are nearly 7 billion humans on Earth, but there are 16 billion chickens. They're the closest living relative to Tyrannosaurus rex, and there are more of them than any other bird. Grab it, Jane.
Bloody fast! Bloody fast!
Yet we know very little about chickens.
Ooh.
What goes on inside those bird brains? I want to learn about these birds. I want to know what goes on behind the hen house door.
Heck, here we go. Oh, there we go. It's kicking off now.
There are more than 10,000 species of bird on the planet. We've only domesticated 7 of them for food. And by far the most successful is the chicken. I wonder why, out of all birds, did we choose to domesticate them? Chickens are very familiar to us, but we know next to nothing about them. I've decided to set up a series of experiments to understand their behaviour and get inside their minds. I want to know who rules the roost in the flock.
Right, here it goes.
To find out how they spot predators. I want to know if there's more to chickens than meets the eye.
It's quite crafty, then.
They are crafty.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
What I discover about chickens is going to make us look at them in a very different way. I've come to Jane Howarth's farm in Devon to investigate the hidden life of chickens. Jane's been rescuing battery hens for the last 15 years, taking the birds and passing them on to people to keep as egg-laying pets. I've bought chickens from her in the past, and I'd say she knows more about these birds than anyone else I've met.
So, Jane, how many chickens have you got here?
Oh, around about 100 here, Jim. This is my motley crew, as I call them. And these are all the birds that have come out from the cages, and for one reason or another, they're not quite well enough to be rehomed. So they may have had a broken wing. I've got Winnie here, who's got a broken wing. So actually, she ended up staying.
Right.
But she's very happy. So I've got a fair few characters. My 2 little cockerels, William and Harry, they keep the girls sort of, you know, under control and look after them a little bit.
So they've all got names, then?
They have, yeah. They have.
Why'd you give them names?
They're all individual characters, and that really sort of comes through. You know, occasionally we'll give a hen a name, but her character will be so strong that we'll actually change her name to fit.
And are there some chickens you think, oh, actually, she's really kind, that one's pretty nasty?
Definitely, yeah. You definitely get your boss chickens.
You get your bullies.
You get the quiet ones, and you get the right up in your face ones.
Yeah.
Jane thinks her chickens are pretty wonderful creatures, but I'm not so sure. When I think of chickens, the word bird brain springs to mind. What on earth has made chickens the most successful birds in the world?
I've got chickens on my farm, and they range around and do their own thing, lay a few eggs. But why did we domesticate the chicken in the first place? Why these birds? Why haven't we got billions of geese or partridge or pheasant? It's a bit of a conundrum to me, really.
Yes, chickens are tasty and lay eggs, but that's the same for lots of birds. They're relatively small, so they're easy to keep, especially because they can't fly very far or very high. But there must be more to their success than the fact that they're small and tasty. I'm going to conduct a series of tests to uncover their secret lives and abilities. I suspect there's something about their nature that makes them perfect for domestication, and I want to find out what. The term pecking order was first introduced into English in 1925, after a Norwegian professor coined the phrase. But how does a flock of chickens settle on a pecking order? Jane's going to help me find out.
Yeah, Scooty Toots. Have some treats. Come on, girls.
Hi there, Jane.
Hi there, Jim.
So what's all this about?
This is my hospital, and my little hospital...
So you've got a chicken hospital?
I do have a chicken hospital, yes.
So it's like hen ER in here then, is it?
It is a little bit, yes.
So you bring in hens here that need an extra bit of care,
Yes.
and you put them, like I see, all different sort of
Yes.
enclosures along here. But all around here, though, is there a certain pecking order? You've got one that's spending
Yes,
a lot
I
of time
have,
pushing
yes.
the others away.
Polly is top chicken in here.
Yeah.
So she's the one that's feeding at the moment. Polly and Shorty, this is Shorty.
Yeah.
Hello, Shorty. Get first go at the nice bits.
So they get first dibs, get in there, get all the
Yeah, they
goodies
do,
out,
yes.
and keep all the other hens out of the way?
Yes, they will do.
And why is one chicken more dominant? Is it a bigger, more aggressive chicken, or how does it
It can
work?
be a number of things. It can be that she's really super healthy, so she's sort of come up the ranking, she's
Yeah.
come out of molt, got some nice new feathers. It can be that she's just dominant character,
Right.
really.
Polly is the dominant hen in the hospital flock. But what happens when a new bird joins the group?
I'm going to be bringing Dolly in today, actually. She had an old break
Right.
that she came here with, so I'm going to bring her in here and introduce her to the girls.
So when Dolly comes in, will that change this pecking order?
Yes, it will, yes. This lot will probably really bully her and let her know that she's the new kid on the block, so better behave.
Oh, poor old Dolly. Well, let's see
Yeah.
what happens then.
Jane thinks Dolly will benefit from a brief stay in the hospital. But any new arrival will have to establish her place in the pecking order.
Come on, Dolly. You're not going to like this very much, sweetheart. But we've got to take you into the hospital. It's not for long. I know. A bit irritating, isn't it, Dolly?
Bit of TLC, bit of warmth.
A few treats.
Yeah, then you've got to contend with all those other girls that already know where they stand.
Yeah. Give as good as you get, that's what I reckon, Dolly.
Yeah, it's like being the new kid at school, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how long will you keep her in for, do you think?
See how she gets on, really, Jim. Could be just a few days, maybe up to a week. I'd like to keep her not too long because I want to be able to put her back out.
Right.
Come on, Dolly. There you are.
There we go. Nice bit of food. Oh, she's straight into the food.
Yeah.
Looking for the hen's reaction to this newcomer, Jane's experienced eye spots signs I'd never notice.
Polly's gone very stiff. You see,
Oh, I can
she's gone.
see.
And Shorty. Shorty's gone very sort of stock still. The wings are coming down, Jim, both
Yeah.
on Polly and Shorty. That's one of the signs, is they drop the wings to let them know somebody strange is here. Polly's actually a little bit surprised that this chicken's come in and actually settled so quickly. She's not showing any signs of sort of respect.
Yeah.
This is our hospital, our treats,
Yeah, we've been here the
our
longest.
food. Who is this imposter?
She might suddenly have a peck. Here
She
we
will
go.
now.
Oh, there we go. Kick it off now. Oh, yeah.
There we are. Shorty's
Oh, now
trying to
there's-
tell her.
So this
Yeah.
is now sorting themselves
They
out.
will, yes.
Yeah.
Girls, come on, be nice to each other. So Shorty's trying to dominate, this is my ground, but actually Dolly's holding her own really quite well.
So if Dolly pushes Shorty off, then Dolly immediately is pretty high up in the ranking.
Yes, definitely. Yes, she would be. And they're actually communicating, Jim. If you listen to them, they are actually probably quietly swearing at each other.
You bleeding, why I order.
Shorty will actually invite Dolly to come over and sort of by picking up little bits of straw, little tidbits, trying to fool Dolly that there's something tasty there, just so that she can get her within range and then actually go in for the peck.
Oh, it's quite crafty then.
They are crafty.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The feathers are really starting to fly now. I knew that roosters could be pretty aggressive, but who would have thought it of hens? There's a real standoff. But eventually, Dolly backs down. And Polly remains head hen in the hospital. I can see how this hierarchy amongst hens helped us domesticate them. And because chickens keep a firm pecking order, it makes it easy for us to keep them in large numbers. But I want to see exactly how these birds communicate. What techniques do they use?
Right, let's have a look what we got.
Dr. Siobhan Abby Singh from the London Vet School studies the social behaviour of chickens. She's going to show me how they do it. We've taken 6 birds from Jane's outdoor flock and marked their tails with coloured paint, so we can tell who's who. At first glance, this just looks like chickens eating round a bowl. But there's something else going on. These birds know each other and already have an established pecking order.
Ah, look, there's a bit of interaction.
Yeah. So purple's
purple pecked
telling red to where to go.
Oh, and orange is on black.
When they peck at each other, there's a particular peck that determines who's boss.
Aggressive pecks are generally directed towards the head and neck, quite often from a bit more of a height, quite fast downward
So it's
peck.
very specific then?
Yeah, it's a very specific type of peck.
As well as pecking,